The second map in the second series of play-ins. It is TEC versus BLG. Map pick of BLG, so TEC are naturally starting on defense. First time they've played at this event. RB over on the Cypher, which is a bit different. Chu on KO. And all of the other roles look relatively normal. BLG, they did lose to Wolves the first time that they played it, so I guess it's kind of interesting that they actually did pick it into them. KO Knife gets so much information from Chu that they get the orb and they scarper. Got a camera over on B from RB. And then a trip just not in the main spot that's going to get shock darted, just a little bit further forward. And this is brave from Abo to go for a peek, but he gets his 70 dashes out. Being pinged now for where he might be playing. He re-peeks and gets another one onto YZ. And don't think they realized that K-Knight was able to walk straight past. They were playing off the trip, but RB gets completely caught by surprise. I don't think ABO communicated that somebody might have walked past. And K-Knight now just on this angle. Clean kill onto ABO. 3 versus 2. K-Knight having to fight into CT to get another one, but it's all about where Lockham is playing. He gets cleared, Kwai in a 1 versus 2, but they probably aren't going to guess that he's coming from B main. He might be able to catch this. K-Knight running out and peeking, and the observers look away at the last minute. Paranoia is going to go right onto the planter, and Kwai actually saving the round for TEC there a little bit. 2 kills towards ABO, 5 versus 3. K-Knight brings it close. And Kawhi had some fantastic clutches this tournament. That's another one to add to it. That's 2-1 on the pistols towards TEC. But as we know from Lotus that we just saw, having that pistol to begin with didn't really amount to too much. Did a 9-3 half. But I guess picking up the pistol on the defense is good because it should mean that you get a good strong half here. In China it is literally more like 50-50 on attack sided, defense sided, but we haven't seen an awful lot of China, and some of the games have been one-sided either way. Like DRG and Wolves looks good on it and kind of trance their opponent. Either they lose or they lose to round difference. Could be map difference is the big one. I mean, yeah, the fact that if they win this, it's they had to sort of 2-0 to have a good shot. Because they're -10, well, it's a lot of -20 now. You basically have to win the next 2 maps 13-3, 13-6, something like that. I mean that this is a pretty depressing series from TEC. But it sets Billy and Trace up pretty nicely. I'll be spraying in the smoke as they come in on the execute, seeing if there's anybody that's gone on to logs. They haven't. All of these players have gone onto lane, and there's sort of an awkward fights here or there, but Abby's getting the multi-kill on the anti-eco straight after the pistol, which pretty much sets him up for the rest of the map. Tends to be if he gets this is the maps that he goes nuclear on. If this game goes 2-1 BLG, the entirety of the next game determines it for BLG. Bonus time. Spectre, Bulldog, Marshal, Guardian, Sheriff. And Abo maybe going for a little bit too much. No damage done. Just goes for a peek. I don't think he really had any utility to support. No paranoia, no flash. No info either. There's no recon data that was used at that point. Well, I like the call from BLG to just hot step it over towards A. A trip's been put down. I reckon Chu is going to try and peek this, however. Or not. He is just going to walk out with his knife, and it's an angle that Yosemite and YZ were on. This call is getting a little bit Clown Fiesta-y now. Especially with Lockham actually pushing all the way in B main. He's going to hear all of this. Shot in the back, seeing if there's anybody else close. Just get broken because Bear's just watching the flank. This has been pinged a lot by the defense. So this is something that RB needs to be very careful clearing. He isn't careful clearing it at all. The Bear gets a free and easy kill. The flash there is perfect. That's more like you wanted to see from the defense right at the start. KO flash, B main peak, lovely. Kawhi is in a 1 versus 4.
下枪了，他这一分肯定不会保的，他要想办法下枪，远距离1v1数位，自己的经济是比较多的，可以去跟对手去换，但是
If BLG win, it'll be a winner takes all for BLG and Trace, yes, which is probably the best case scenario instead of some weird like rock paper scissors defined by just winning a map. So naturally, I am cheering for BLG in this series now. Especially with BLG actually looking really good. It'll be a... No, it won't be a winner's take-all for BLG and Trace, yeah, because it's whoever wins the series. It'll be 2-0 needed by Trace to qualify. Yeah, but they'd beat Billy Billy. And it'd be the same if Billy Billy win this series, that they'd go 2-0 up. Because both the teams would have beaten TEC.
RB 站在那个位置，可能也跟队友没有商量好。秋叶那个点位本来想要去看 A 小的，但发现 RB 在近点，然后突然转头的那个 timing 被抓了。是，王者飞到了。
If BLG win this, it's like the first 2 series didn't matter. It'd just be that one.
这次体坛是没有人去顶到外面。
Yeah, Trace doesn't need a 2-0. They could just win 2-1 in overtime because the win is more important than the maps or the round differential. It's the same situation as Senji to earlier, right? No, because it was like this team beats that team and this team A beats Team B, but Team B beats Team C. So then it comes down to how much Team C can beat Team A by. This case, it's not that at all. Because both teams are looking to beat TEC. I feel like I'm confusing myself more by trying to explain it, but it's good practice to try and explain the tricky stuff. I'm stunned, sorry. Thanks for the clarification. Now I understand. I'm like, is this guy like, am I being silly here? It's like, no, he's just out of it.
现在包点还有一个人前后夹击，他们要想办法把船务这个人先绞掉。这个时候就要看指挥了，要怎么去做这个指挥拉出来了，抓到一半。
I've just completely missed this round because we've been.
火力很高，但在这种扫射转移的情况之下有点慢的，稍微有点笨重了，因为他自己得蹲着来走。是的，只剩下卡哇伊1打2，只有30滴血，他只能扛他一发都扛不了。一发身子的。
If Kawhi, I was going to say if Kawhi wins this, I might be asking for some of what Cam has just to get through it. Also didn't know that Alienware actually sponsored Billy Billy too. I hope they don't do play-ins again, it's far too confusing for regular viewers. I don't think it's that confusing. Like, group stages can be just as confusing, right, in normal tournaments. Like, the amount of times that I've had to explain permutations on a broadcast is way too much. Like, if this team beats this team, then this team has to beat this team, or at least get 2 maps, like, yeah. It's not confusing, it's just shit. It's fine considering the circumstances, and it's fine for the fact that it'll probably never happen again. I don't think we're going to get play-ins or anything like that for the rest of the year. And from next year, we'll have 12 teams. What happened with TEC versus Trace? Trace won 2-1. I don't know who wins this, though. Oh, you mean out of like Billy Billy and Trace? I don't know. If Billy Billy continued to keep playing like well.
还是选择非常冷静的控图，对，很稳，因为知道对方在这种eco局的情况下，很有可能会做前压的动作，是，所以他们前面1分钟左右都会控图，最后40秒。
It's confusing when they do map differentials and not round. I think it'd be more confusing if they did round differential. It would be so lame to like watch a game and it's like, oh, if BLG just get to 5 rounds, they make play-ins. That's all they need. That'd just be even more like, well, the guns are sort of working for TEC. This needs to stop happening. Like, BLG. And it is literally, I think, what is it? Because Yosemite is going so far away from his turret. His turret's going off, and so Lockham just peeks out. Like, they know that he's going to be here. There's only one place that he can be, and he still lose the fight. Alright, Bianc. 2 versus 2. The spike has been planted in a really awkward spot. Like, it's just like deathmatch on this map now. They see him mid. I feel like nobody is taking like a clean aim duel. It's just been shooting them in the back. One coming market. Really nice from YZ. YZ lock him. He's got a recon dart. It's used out in the open. YZ doesn't care. Nice 1 versus 2. YZ's making me a believer again, and I'm not sure if I like it. Granted, was an eco from TEC. Maybe shouldn't have been that close in the first place. But nice fight. I like just the big... He stood there, big balls, taking the fight head on. And now Abba's going to try and do something silly. Is the answer. And Yosemite is actually just on them. Were they trying to go for some sort of like shark attack DRX play? Abby was like, guys, I know what we can do. Have you ever heard of Vision Strikers? Yeah, not bragging, but I used to be on that team. And then they come out with that, and it's not quite well timed. Seeing Yosemite and YZ and stuff actually perform makes me so happy. I just want to check if Finesse and Som are streaming. They are not. No fucking surprise with BLG. Oh no, I spoke too soon. Abby is alive in a 1 versus 2. Bear clears him. Bear just better. Better with a 3 instead of an E in a name. Another strike on Sliggy Bingo mentioned. Wait, what was it that I said? Vision Strikers? You used to be on Vision Strikers? Not me. I'm talking about from RB's perspective. I think if I was on Vision Strikers, I would stand out like a sore fucking thumb. I think you'd know about it.
感觉还是有一点守不住啊，因为 BLG 现在我们可以看到他们其实打的进攻控图是可以说是比较贪婪的，他们整张地图有将近60-70%的。
Why are players playing back-to-back games? Because it's play-ins.
防守我们看到比较大一个问题是，他们其实没有特别多的人去拼这个中路，那就会出现说 BLG 我一波打不进我就再转，我一波打不进，我第2波打不进我还能再转，这个就是控下。
Anytime this map is played, it's like you said, Vision Strikers like 6 times a half. Well, yeah, because there's like only one cool strategy that everybody tries to mimic, which is like Vision Strikers. But you're right, that's why I tried to call it Shark Attack, even though it's the same one. Working on a breakdown of EG's Icebox comps. I saw you mention it in Sliggy's chat. You were like, Sliggy Senpai, if I make a breakdown of the deadlock on Icebox, will you read it, watch it? Sliggy's like, oi. Because that's just all he says. Eco for TEC. BLG starting to farm up these. Literally, it just seems that TEC is only winning, like, pistols and stuff like that.
有人放在把贝尔放在了中路的一个位置，而且给到了 A 小侧的一个进攻的一个黑障挡在这里啊。
但防守方体坛是选择了 AY 主动打前压 ，BLG 中路又来了，因为就是。
But if Deadlock is the second Sentinel on the team, especially on a map like Icebox, where you'd play double Sentinel with the Sage, I think Deadlock has merit. But Deadlock is a solo initiator, unless it's on a map like Split or Bind where you don't necessarily need it. could have legs.
都被 BLG 给控住了，现在就是 BLG 想打哪儿可以打。
What is the shark attack? It's a funny name. It's the same strategy that Vision Strikers is, where the defenders like push this, like they flash, if the jet dash, like you just fight this super aggressively.
必须的，因为你中路所有的控制权在我自己手里面，你市场都没有站人，甚至于远距离小边。
If we see it, we'll let you know, but 2 rounds ago, I think it was now, TEC tried it and it just didn't really work, and Yosemite just bang, bang, bang through people.
对方到近点才知道，所以能够看到你的信息。但你自动哨兵的话有范围的，
然后再回一脚，点掉一个。秋叶这个地方也很难，确实是因为自己只有一把正义，卡哇伊拉出来，看到了，点身子，点掉了，贴到脸上了。贝尔的一个小身位，小跑打，还是把卡哇伊用最。
Abby 1 versus 3 with a sheriff. Scene 1. I like that Bianca's just not picking him again until he has a teammate. He's like, I ain't fighting RB alone.
爽穿 RB 没办法呀，
不敢动的，这包不敢动的呀。
这股火力呀，拉出来3个人。
Because he is still just going to get one. You know if teams are allowed to change roster during the season? Yes. There's no roster lock at all. I don't know the specifics of the rules. I imagine there's some like clarifications of what you can and can't do. Yeah, it's the one with the KO flashing tiles. Although I typically say like the Vision Striker's shark attack is just like you could do it with a breach, right? Breach stun flash. You could do it with like all sorts. It's just the aggression from mid and B main at the same time to crunch on this. But specifically having somebody like the Jet or an Omen TP and get into this angle.
3分的一个差距，手上有寻敌剑 ，Look M 第二时间给出寻敌剑。
Do it with Reyna, yeah, kind of.
想要用奥丁穿射，但是 BLG 他们现在没有人动的。
对。
Yeah, I think for like international events, it's probably like you have to give them some time. Or accept the fact that if you do make a roster move, you might not be able to have those players. Nice attempt from Abo, to be honest. You might not be able to have those players at international events because visas need sorting. Honest Fury from Bianca is good. Yosemite's mid lurk is great as well. No command gets nothing. Abo gets that mid lurk, so it's still a 3 versus 3 now. Honest Fury is going to be used onto the site. I mean, there's no like. Might be a lockdown for future. Why is he goes down? Odin from the shadows. A Paranoia is still in hands with a TP, so Bear is just waiting to get these players on stairs. Gets one, I think, but Lockham hasn't really been fought there. Good engagement. You know that it's there. Time. No time. Barely hear it. Like the observer's going on the perspective of a player over here when you're trying to listen if there's enough time on the clock for the spike. And they're like, huh? That's actually something I've never even thought about until it happened. Like the observers actually need to just have their secondary observer by the spike. Not just for the cinematic shot of it exploding, but just letting the audience know that there's not enough time on the clock. What were your thoughts on Nova's overall performance? Better than I expected, but I didn't expect much. Like, I thought they were going to be the worst team in the region. They aren't. Can't be if they've won. So I guess that title goes to Tai Lu. Until we see Tai Lu versus All Gamers. But All Gamers, like, surprised me more than anything.
这个位置想把明局捡回来，但王后这完全不给你机会。
Yeah, this is just the lack of experience outside of RB of playing at these like level of events. Like Trace and BLG especially, like they've played champs. This is nothing. Until Lockham decides to get a couple with the Guardian, and now Yosemite is in a 1 versus 3. Lockham is on the backside, the shock dart doesn't actually hit him at all. And RB's still alive, he's waiting, he's even just jumping. Like, hello, I'm over here. Recon dart's gonna hit. Yosemite's actually cleared him though. Turret going on top. RB's now giving a bit of space. He respects Yosemite Sam. It's still like, spike hasn't been planted. Wow, he really thinks that RB's gonna come in from heaven. Oh, and RB's just too good.
这个回合体坛有惊无险扳回1分。
Definitely with how the start of that went, with what was that, a 5 versus 3 in favor of Billy lost against an eco. Yep, there's the 5 versus 3.
真有点不谨慎了。
Chu, nice
这都是
shots.
站在一个无掩体的位置，点后没有更多的一个技能限制，让球员在这个地方可以无责任的去一枪一枪的 pick。
是的，主要就是球员依靠这个铁箱当那个分割论。BLG 的
这个
BLG taking the time out too. You have to guess who would be your 4 teams for champions for China. It's way too early. It really depends on like how these teams grow in the region.
把正义给撕掉了。
I think it would have to be absolutely shocking to see EDG not make it.
想要去提速
I think FPX not making it too would be a surprise, but really it's like
去对于点内技能上的一个
because China's based on like getting points and attending both Madrid and Shanghai and doing well in one of those 2 events. It's impossible to say because it's like who we don't know what the seeding matches are going to be for even qualifying for Madrid.
能看到 BLG 他们虽然拿下人数优势，但他其实 A 小跟 A 长这个进攻的协同稍微出现了一些。
But yeah, BLG have been looking from last year in the regional tournament evolution in China. BLG looked awful. They were like fine, bottomed out, and got upset by TEC the last time that they played. So this is a revenge game for BLG, which makes sense probably why BLG are just not giving them anything. And it was the fact that they lost to a TEC without RB. They had and Lockham actually, so they had Black and Shameless playing for them. And also TEC played Ice on 1. It'd be funny if BLG beat NRG again. I wouldn't watch party that game. I would watch party Finesse's watch party. That's what I'm reacting to.
这个是不对的，想起来了，跟狼队的时候，中路那样干拉出来。
Also, I don't really know what, like, I kind of want to watch party Madrid. I'm not going to watch party all of it. I might just watch party the live games where the China teams play. But also, one of my friends suggested, well, maybe you can like jump on some other like streams, you know, like see if there's any like pro players that watch party and that might benefit from having somebody that knows a bit more about China. But I don't know anybody that well. Don't get me wrong, it'd be like fucking sick if I could like jump on Tarek's stream and teach him all about like these clowns that we're watching. Very clean from TEC. I don't think anybody cares about China. They will eventually because it'll probably overtake everybody else with how good they are.
进点之后去走1、2位的位置的人，变成了这样的一个血量，会导致他们第2波再。
But I do agree to an extent. Like, I don't think people are that interested in China as of right now as a region, but naturally it'll improve.
他们在包点的一个调整以及整个 B 包点，体坛是又给你摆了一个5星八卦阵，任何角度进来，他们都有进攻的角度。
那这一分就是我们刚刚说到的 BLG 在。 如果失利之后的经济，我们看到了，并没有那么好。
Aldron, oh, it gets so much information actually. The KO knife just isn't really there.
怕对手提速啊，听到了好多脚步声，往后撤。
This is an eco for BLG. They found the first kill. Looking way to dodge the KO flash. Good trade from Yosemite who's picked up a Spectre. Oh no, don't lose this. Bladestorm was used from BLG, which is lost because Kwai gets the kill just beforehand. Kwai walking up lane. Good 5-bit. KO flash. Oh, it does hit onto Bianc. The airplane from John Cena because you can't quite see him when you're walking up lane. And Yosemite actually clears it in the end. 50's either side now then, at least.
一点点没有商量好，但是实际上是有可能成为伏笔。2个背身哎，
关键那2个背身有个人在烟里面，有个人在烟后，烟后那个相当于帮 Yosemite 做了一个钩子。对，他们会以为。
Is there any more Valorant on today? There is a series after this one, which is BLG versus Trace, which if BLG win this map is deciding who's going to make playoffs.
我觉得对于 BLG 来说的话，这个分数他们能够接受。 体坛想要在进攻方去多拿分，他们防守方的分数也能接受。
So actually, like, there's a major series on after this.
建议直接先进来，看一下这个回合准备怎么去打啊。
Because Trace have already beat TEC this morning.
压制了3个0点球，看到3人正面
Because it's a round robin. So TEC at this point, even if they manage to turn this series around, still feel that they're effectively out on round difference. So we're kind of cheering for BLG, so we actually get like a really exciting Trace versus BLG series after this. Oh, Flash is everywhere. All of the trades go in the way of Trace, though. 7-5, honestly, with how China's been, not too bad. But it's like you want to get 5 rounds on defense from Ascent for 1, but also you get the pistol.
可能对于 BLG 来说有点可惜，没有去更有耐心的去处理。但是我们也可以看到，这个就是体坛的韧性。他们在被对手连续拿分的情
Winner
况下，
takes all is good. Yeah, for the third series, it would
他们在
be.
逐渐找回自己的状态。
是。但现在主动权来到下半场的话，那体坛掌握着绝对的一个主动权，他们得想办法在进攻方去多拿分才行。因为你上半场 BLG 他们确实打的在进攻
Yeah, good half for BLG.
但正面的一
And realistically, good comeback from Trace, because that could have been a really, really one-sided half.
把枪法也开始回暖了。
对的，而且还是要说到刚刚子恒说到一个点，从数据上来说 ，BLG 在这样
Yeah, I tried to answer as many questions as I can on
60%，
China as a region.
他们进攻胜率只有25%，但是
For those who don't know, like, I'm from EMEA, like, did a lot of casting and stuff there.
会轻松很多。
对的。反过来说，体坛的进攻压力
But since the end of last year, I was watching a lot of the China tournament that was happening, which was kind of like Ascension and also involved a lot of the partnership teams. So I'm pretty like well versed in the players, teams, like the history. And to be honest, I was like doing this and I was like, oh, maybe there is like an English broadcast for China next year. But Riot have kind of decided that they're not going to do an English broadcast like for the whole year, as far as I know. Maybe there's something that comes in later. You think China would benefit from important coaches? They have. Papa Smurf, OC coach, did some stuff in China. Wolves' head coach is Nate. He's a Russian. The head coach for BLG is Russian. I'm pretty sure. Any others I can think of? No, I think that's about it. But there's a lot of good coaches in the region outside of China. Also, Val Analysis is from Korea.
体坛来说，我们可以看到他们的进攻战
He's a
位
coach of
一开始
JDG.
更多的可能还是想要先摸信息去控图啊，没有选择所有人站在一侧。RB 是来到了 B 通的
Yeah,
位置
JDG is a
剩下的
Korean
四个
coach.
队友在 A 通。
The TEC have won the pistol. It means that they're 1 and 2. Did BLG pick up both pistols on notice? The Fever Dream, I can't remember.
中路的防守 BLG 相当的看重，贝尔在这个地方就是在等声音，随时准备推岸。
Their paranoiaing off the turret is cool, but what's the plan after that? To stall, have the KO flash, and then push in behind them here? That is kind of nice from BLG. It's just not a great angle to take these fights from, especially up against the Frenzy, as Chu has got 2. But outside of that, pretty nice idea.
BLG 他们反而是把防守当进攻来打了，他不想给你任何的。
You have a lot of like variations of those kind of plays. Like you'll see a lot of like alarm bots put right on like catwalk.
你所有卡在一小人的位置，我们看到 BLG 早就已经把2个人放在了中路，暗眼一出手，2个人就一起出动。
Didn't really get to see much of like the KO flash, like how much that hit. Recon Dart 2 was a bit late, perhaps, if you want to do it all together.
很好的一个手枪局战术。
Abby's not really doing that much. Lock M is. Abo's struggling.
化被动为主动。
那这个又来到了
Maybe they're back.
的一个时间了呀，看一下这把蟒侠。
It really was a coin flip with
重
the
的一个蟒侠在身上。
like, coach changes that they made and bringing Bear in. Like BLG was either going to look pretty good or they were going to look tragic.
但是要面对上蟒侠呀。
And after they beat Wolves, I'm glad that they're looking pretty good.
还有人想来中路挑战一下王浩哲的蟒侠吗？有人站着不动的，但球员这个点位置，没办法，他站马路中央直架就拼一发了。
而且他也知道 B 小在主峰的一个时间已经过了，知道中路是有人的，卡在这个位置。
Seeing if anybody's going to drop down. Kwai is in a... I love the spot that Kwai is in.
还要换弹，以及一发子弹，蟒侠空一枪就没容错了。
对的。
所以退守后点，先把子弹换上。 但是体坛他们现在大部队是往 B 靠的，因为 RB 一直在 B 外。 仔细听对方的一个动静，他已经听到中路有2把枪线。
Most China pros come from a crossfire background. I don't know actually. That's a great question.
一刀贝尔也是在晃身直看，先给 A 仗，导致这个 K 仗给出来，对方可能要回年出啊。
军舰被打掉。
I think most of them are quite young. Like there are some Overwatch players, but not many of like the bigger ones. Like there's no Shy, there's no Leave.
卡哇伊黑前一瞬间先换了一个，但是王浩哲这把蟒侠也是马上到。
Oh, the paranoia was just a little bit late. Okay, the player that is impressing me the most with the Outlaw being Wisey was not on my bingo card.
飞过来就看着暗眼在往前飞，但是极限的位置上面让他找到了机会再收一人。
很多时候选手都会选择去抓取这个 timing， 因为毕竟他是截锋，他有足够的机动性能够去规避掉对方的伤害。
是的，而且玩截锋的。
But I don't know, like if some of the players, some of them came from CS, for example, like Tai Lu, pretty much brought their CS roster over to an extent. But outside of that, I don't know. I don't know where these guys would have like played professionally, and because it is like quite a China only officially came out last year, but there were still a lot of Chinese players playing it. All right, yeah, why is he Outlaw? Wisey's been good sniper since the beginning, though. My point, I guess, was more like with the Outlaw, I expected like Kong Kong and stuff to be like showing up with it more. Or Life. Like Life, I don't think has played any Outlaw. I think it's mostly just been Marshal or Operator. So it's not that Wisey would be bad with it, it's more I didn't expect Wisey was going to be the, okay, every time he is an Outlaw, he's scary. Wisey was the OG Kong Kong in the past? Yeah, but then Kong Kong became the Kong Kong, you know?
只能干拉。
王者又点掉一个，有人上漏枪管再出来，王者3杀，主法现在有巨人。是的。
Oh man, flawless. This looks done. Pack it up, boys.
这个就有点像莲花古城刚刚发生的一个故事。首枪局输了之后，自己的长枪局又要去面对这把蟒侠。
And at this point, yeah, kind of like Saint has said, really TEC has to just kind of keep forcing up if they want to like not let it falter, which only feeds the Outlaw.
他们选择了小起，对，那这样的情况之下，你在长枪局就只能起到轻甲的长枪。
对。就是这个点很伤。当你再把
Yeah, they're on an eco and still half armor.
也升级成明狙了。
关键是现在王浩哲还拿着保留下来的蟒侠。
Now the operator is over on A. Maybe this is why Billy picked it.
So 酒窖的这样的一个零点秀探。
Hey, I really like this new gun. Oh, and he just takes another shot like it's a shorty and gets onto Kawhi. This is crazy. Where has this guy been? Again, it's literally like, just imagine your opponent. Oh, that guy over there on the other side on the desk. It's Ardis, and he doesn't know your name. And why is his gun? And just gone crazy with it. Common Wisey win. It's not common though. It wasn't. But he is so back. We're actually seeing like the Outlaw used to its full potential, right? And it is going to force them to like full armor this. So are they actually missing any utility? Doesn't look like it. Everybody has everything. The crowd are chilling. They're waiting for the next game. This is just like the appetizer.
USMT 选择了过点位直架，
是被蹭掉了比较多的一个血量啊。
Seeing Wisey versus Feng Feng like after this though.
现在知道了，要都来了。
主锋加水云强行进来，关电门。小边远距离要用奥丁直接拉烟出来直架。
Oh, Bianc. I didn't think the Biodin would also be something that I'd really enjoy watching today.
配合小边的奥丁包点接完了。
I don't know what happened to this team. It's almost like losing to Wolves, like broke their brains, and they suddenly got good again. GG, see you in April. What happened to Billy after Champions? Why was it so rough? first two stages, it was like they finished sixth, and then they went out 12. But like each series that they were playing, they were looking worse and worse. And then they actually got 2-0'd by TEC to eliminate them from like the last like major tournament in China. And it was just like embarrassing, I suppose, for them. Because other teams like Trace and stuff, Attacking Soul were like overtaking them. Like Billy just lost their footing, the meta changed quite a lot, and they kind of got reds.
Who do
you think is more favorable between Trace and BLG? To be fair, like, it's still so hard to tell, because like I think we've got like Trace have always been like consistent. A little bit rough around the edges, but they've always been consistent, good calling and stuff. BLG, they went from just getting destroyed in their first series against Wolves to destroying Wolves, now destroying TEC. Like, I don't know. Like, we could see them just get absolutely destroyed by Trace. There's no in-between with this squad. Maybe they win a series. The problem is, if you do badly in a tournament before partnership, you are going to probably get dropped. Case in point, look at Rin. BLG is either 0 or 100. Exactly. They're either great or they're tragic. 7 chances. Sorry. And Abi's at least got a judge kill to get started with an arrow theft, even though he's done 30 HP. Camera in a position that's kind of hard to clear for YZ, who has given up the outlaw in favor of the operator. Imagine if BLG picked up Plex instead of Bear. Ooh. Although I will say, Bear has not been that bad. Calling for the team seems a lot better, but 4 versus 4, there's a Hunter's Fury for Bianc. He's going to use it. I think it got a ping onto somebody, but I don't know. You are updrafting into a judge. No command going to be used. Chu getting some big battles done. Bianc. Odin Spray getting as many kills as he can do. Not a bad shout. The money is like pretty much max. Lock him down as well. Keeps this money tight. And RB now keeping the operator is nice. 6, yeah.
但是现在对于他们来讲，所有的经济反正也无所谓了，都当最后一把在打，经济肯定是 all in 的一个状态。怎么样自己的这个武装配比最好
All starts from RB with a judge.
人均短炮加长枪。是的。
And that was why is he diving in with an off, by the way. Fast execute from TEC, keep it going. The recon dart. Oh man, Bianc. Maybe wasn't expecting somebody to be that close. But he's right on this corner, just below Giraffe. The Odin Spray, just trying to keep them pinned in, but Lockham's actually gone down to it. Chu, another really nice 2k to really keep them in it. Yosemite, I think, just sprays for the smoke and gets him. Oh, and RB just goes out of the smoke with the operator. Just as they peek him. Camera to get more information. He's going to get smoked off. He almost got Yosemite. Now he's checking market. He's trying to play off his own cage. The Cypher up. The RB up. Why is it this good? Oh, and he's missed. That's more in kind with what I was expecting. And Abo jump peeking with the Odin Spray. 5 chances. Where did Rain end up going? I don't think anywhere. It's such a big fight. It's unfortunate that both these players like kind of lined up. So that shot onto Bear, harder to hit than you'd expect. It's forcing BLG to time out, so it's got maybe XPZ a little bit worried. What language does TEC come in? It's a command, which shows exclamation. Yep, it's Chinese and English.
是的，我们可以看到 XPZ 教练他的暂停其实是喊的都非常的不省的。当对手有一点点要起势的一个情况，他就是马上把自己的暂停喊了出来。包括像上半场的时候，
When does CN Challenger start? Not a clue. I'm trying to find out. I'm seeing if I can get the broadcast rights for doing Tier 2, because I think it'd be really interesting to see some of the up-and-coming players, some of the orgs that might be going for Ascension, but also, it's probably going to give us some absolute shithouse games of Valorant, which I'm absolutely all for.
There's
quite a lot of OCE players in Challengers, right? In Challengers, not Tier 1? I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe like Swirl, Minimize, still playing. Crystal as well. Who was the other Russian player that I wasn't keen on watching? It was on JD, not JDG, LGD. Hey, Mad Life Pickle. Beachy? No. He was just like a Sky one trick. Disease, yeah. Watersync was also pretty good, like in Pop. Yeah, it was Diseased. I was like, it just feels like LGD have to just play around him. And he's not good enough on that role to warrant it, I don't think. But that's just seeing it from like watching. 3v2. Oh, he's legged him. The shorty doesn't miss though. Oh, and how was Kawaii one? I thought it was it. Surprised no China team picked up Swell or Minimize, to be honest. Perfect track from a jet dash from Wisey. He knows. I don't know how BLG ended up losing that though. Like, all of this is great movement to get on the angle too. Chu has just been fighting for his life here. The fact that he legs, who is it here? K-Knight? We didn't see the 2v1. Like, that's probably the most important replay to get. Kawaii was like on his own and he gets 2. 4 chances. A very unlucky number though in China, isn't it? So. Yeah, Kawhi's gone down. I didn't even notice it just because of like how quickly that happened. Was it gonna go peek after being knifed? That's brave. You don't have the dash or anything for Abo. Abi still has the op. And he was lurking up on B with the op. Against the Silver Odin for Bianchi, yeah.
那这样第一波好像还是不好去打进去啊。体坛也很清楚自己需要去面对对手多方面的一个枪线，但是自己没有烟雾的情况下。At least Trace get a bit more of a rest, perhaps. I make up their mind because they don't have many options, and they're going into the stack of BLG. This could be it. There's one player under. Wisey needs to be careful that his toe doesn't stick out there. No command coming in. Yosemite's stood right on the top of the box to see just over it. Gets Odin sprayed. Wisey, though, absolutely wrapping this up. Shuts it down. Sends tech packing. We'll see you in April, buddy. BLG versus Trace pretty much deciding who's going to be making playoffs. RB, also much like the rest of DRX, missing his first international event since Reykjavik in the first year. Pretty much 3 years of being at international events and we're not going to see him. Although, I think they like Tech, what they've been able to show. Pretty much the question I had is like, okay, Tech finished 6th in Evolution last year. They effectively finished 7th here. Wait, no, with 3 teams. Yeah, they're pretty much 6th again, right? Behind the other 3 teams that have made it, so like they're on the they're consistently up there against tougher opponents after a big break.
So in all honesty, like TEC, I think have done themselves really proud, like in this event. Like, you beat JDG twice, you lose to DRG, which could have gone either way for sure. Billy at least showing a little bit of like firepower. Yeah, you don't need to worry about map differential or round differential as well for this next series. It's just whoever wins makes playoffs. Could be a 2-0, 2-30 nils, or it could be a full best of 3 going to overtime. Doesn't matter. Whoever wins out of Billy and Trace in the series after this one is going to playoffs alongside EDG, FunPlus Phoenix, and Dragon Ranger Gaming. Who's going to be the 4th team? It also does impact who could potentially play each other too. For TEC, making it means that DRG can play up against anybody. Head-to-head, right? Yeah, exactly. Head-to-head. Both teams won TEC, so this, like, the last 2 series don't effectively matter. Whoever wins this next series goes to playoffs.